Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lena, this is Lena's Bookshelf, and today we have another book haul. So you're probably thinking, Lena, didn't you do a book haul like 2 months ago? Yes, I did. Or you might be thinking, Lena, aren't you reading To Zero with Jacqueline? Yes, I am. But hear me out. I only bought a couple of these books. Some of them were gifted to me, some of them were unhauled to me, some of them I got in little free libraries, so I didn't actually buy very many of these. And I looked, and in the past 2 months, I have read more books than I have brought in. So I'm still on track for my reading to zero. I just need to step it up a little bit with the physical books and lay off the audiobooks for a while. Some of these I've already read, some of these I haven't, and I'm just gonna go through and talk about them. I don't need to explain that. You guys know what a book haul is. Okay, so first I have some books by Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know how you say his last name, but it's the guy that wrote Fight Club. And I've read a couple of his books. I've read 3 or 4 of his books, but these were actually unhauled to me from a coworker. My coworker has read all of these and he was getting rid of them. And I really do enjoy his books. So we have Diary. We have Survivor, we have Stranger Than Fiction, and then we have Fugitives and Refugees. And these are all fiction novels. And then this is kind of an anthology of weird places in Portland. So it's like really bizarre, strange things that you can find in Portland, Oregon. That you probably wouldn't know about just from Googling. I'm super excited to read this, and then next time I go to Portland, maybe I can actually find some of these things and do them. But I don't really know what these are about, but I've enjoyed everything I've read by this author. And I read Fight Club a long time ago, but I think I was too young to really understand what was going on. So I do have it on my shelf and I am gonna reread it here pretty soon. Next book I got from a used bookstore, and it is Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? It is by Dr. Julie Smith. And I guess this copy was originally from Target, but I got it just for a couple of dollars at a used bookstore. And it's all about how to fill your mind, your mental health almost with like tools. So it's a lot about mindfulness and just everyday application on how to really take control of your mental health. And it's done in like short bite-sized chapters, like just a couple of pages on different things, and then there's some questions at the end, and it's written in bullet points, and so it's almost written like TED Talk style. And so I feel like this is going to be really good for me to just read a couple of pages a day. I am a big proponent of taking charge of your mental health and going to therapy and things like that. I work in behavioral health, so I'm really excited to read this one. And it's also blurbed by Lori Gottlieb, who wrote Maybe You Should Talk to Somebody, and I really enjoyed that book. These next 2 books I got from little free libraries. I did a vlog going to little free libraries in my area. I'll link it up in the cards and down below, but this is one of the books I got, and it's Burning Man by Alan Russell, an LAPD detective. Yeah, who is attempting to rescue people from a burning building and ends up getting seriously burned. So it's all about his journey getting back into the field and kind of dealing with the PTSD that goes along with being a burn victim. And he has a crime-fighting dog, so I'm excited about this one. The other book that I took with me from those little free libraries is The Girl from Widow Hills by Megan Miranda, and I've read one Megan Miranda book and I didn't really enjoy it very much, but it wasn't because of the writing style or the plot. It was because it was written like backwards. Literally the whole thing was written in backwards order, and I wasn't really a huge fan of that, but I've heard good things about this one, and I think this deals with a celebrity being stalked. These next 2 books I got for just a couple of dollars at a used bookstore, and the first one is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and I have not read this book, but everybody and their frickin' sister has read this book, so I'm going to try it out. I think I might read it closer to when, I think there's a movie coming out or like a series, so I might read this closer to when that comes out. And then I also got Saving Megan by DJ Palmer, and I read this last month, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. It's about Munchausen by Proxy, and I got this for like $4 at a bookstore, but it's actually a signed copy, and it came with like a letter. I guess this was part of like a monthly subscription service. Not book of the month, obviously, because it doesn't have the emblem, but something similar. And there was a letter on why they chose it for the subscription box, like tucked in here. So I feel like that was a pretty good find. Like, it's a really good version. And so I did enjoy this one, and I am gonna hold on to it. These next two books were gifted to me by Jacqueline, and the first one is Mother Noise. This is a memoir about addiction. Very excited about this one. And then also, she gifted me The Island by Adrienne McKinty, and I'm also really excited about this one. This has been on people's most anticipated list for this year, and I'm hoping that it is what I wanted Reckless Girls to be, but Reckless Girls wasn't. It was not good. And what I wanted The Missing from Kirsten Modglin to be. I didn't like that one. I gave those 1 and 2 stars respectively. So I'm hoping that this is what I wanted those to be. But you have a family that I think goes on vacation and goes to this remote island, and I think they get stuck there and weird, horrific things ensue. So super excited about this one. Definitely going to be reading this one this summer. And then the next two I actually purchased from Jacqueline's Pango bookstore, and the first one was Dear Wife by Kimberly Bell, and I enjoyed this one. It's about 2 women who are on the run. They're trying to escape something in their lives, and so you're trying to figure out, okay, who are these women, how do they connect to each other, why are they on the run from their lives, and it was pretty good, a decent domestic thriller. And then the other book that I purchased from Jacqueline's Pango bookstore is Falling by TJ Newman. I read this last year, and it was one of my favorite thrillers of 2021. It's about a pilot who finds out that his family has been kidnapped while he's in the air flying a plane. And the kidnapper tells him he has to choose, either crash the plane and save his family, or land the plane safely and the kidnapper is gonna murder his family. So, you know, I love that type of moral dilemma, like what would you do in that situation? And I really enjoyed this one. And I do travel for work a lot, so I fly almost every week, and I put off reading this for a while because I was worried it was gonna make me afraid to fly, but it actually just gave me even more respect for flight attendants and pilots than I already had. This next book is one that I bought brand new, and I don't typically do that, but it's Last Woman Standing by Amy Gentry. And this was a flash sale on Amazon, so I was able to get the hardback version just for a couple of dollars. And I have read another book by Amy Gentry, Good Is Gone, and it was actually the very first book of the month book that I ever got back in like 2016. So, and I really enjoyed that one. And so I'm interested to see if I'll like this. I'm interested to see if I'm gonna enjoy Amy Gentry's writing as much as I did in 2016, or if I was just newer to the thriller genre in 2016, and that's why I thought that her writing was so great. So it'll be interesting to see what I think of this, but this is a newer release of hers. And this book is actually about a female stand-up comedian, and I don't think I've ever read a thriller about a comedian before. The last 3 books were my book of the month picks from the past 2 months, and the first one is Take My Hand by Jolyn Perkins Valdez, and this is a historical fiction novel set in Montgomery, Alabama in 1973. And I have been there, which is kind of cool. I love it when I can read about places that I've actually been. And then also in that box, I got True Biz as an add-on by Sarah Novich, and I read this last month. I'll link my May wrap-up if you want to hear all my thoughts, but I really did enjoy this. This book is so good. I highly recommend people pick this up if you want to learn more about deafness, deaf culture. Highly recommend, very good. And then this month in my June box, I actually skipped the regular monthly picks and I picked a fan favorite. You can pick a member fave instead of the monthly picks if you don't want any of those monthly picks and you don't want to skip. And so I got The Blinds by Adam Sternberg. And I've had this on my kind of TBR. I've kind of been watching it on Book of the Month for a while and waiting for a chance to have it as an add-on or pick it up. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but I keep reading the synopsis and it keeps intriguing me. So it's about basically this deserted place where they send criminals, and they have a sheriff, and they kind of create this almost society within themselves. So they kind of are able to serve their time and kind of live in this little community instead of living in prison. But then there is a murder and a suicide that happen. The sheriff of this little town has to uncover all of these secrets that have been kind of sitting there under the surface. But yeah, and this is from August of 2017, and it's still being promoted on Book of the Month, so it must be good. Like I said, I've just never heard anybody talk about it. So if you have read this, let me know how it is, because I'm very, very intrigued. That was all of the books that I have hauled in the past 2.5 months or so. I think I counted 18. Hopefully this is it for a while. Hopefully you don't see another book haul from me until like the fall time, because I really have plenty of books now that I need to read and get through so that I can stay on track with reading to zero. So make sure you let me know down in the comments which of these books you've read, which of these books you're excited for. Let me know what books you have hauled recently, and please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.